Right, welcome to this week's vlog, and this week is going to be something slightly different, as everyone obviously knows. We're all stuck indoors. I will wish everyone the best of health and stay safe. Wash your hands over and over again until they're red raw. But yeah, it's serious times, and it's time. I think it's about time people took it seriously now, and yeah, just be safe. But anyway, this is the reason why we are all vloggers are all stuck inside and landscape photographers. So what we've been doing is thinking outside the box. Me and Paul Thompson especially have been planning on doing something like this, a live stream or pre-recorded chat. We're going to be doing photo critiquing, tutorials. We can do joint split screen tutorials in Lightroom, Photoshop. And we're probably going to do like a weekly video vidcast, podcast type thing. Yeah, so check out our YouTube channels and our social medias. That's Paul Thompson Photography, and obviously Photoninja for the latest news on what we've got coming up. But this one was organised by Paul Compton. We was invited, and there was 5 of us. I won't tell you who everyone is. You'll have to watch the video and find out. But some big YouTubers and some slightly smaller ones, people just starting out. So it's a good mix. There's 5 of us, including me, and yeah, it was just nice to just sort of have a real stripped back chat about everything photography and life and where we've come from. And so I really hope you enjoy the video. But towards the end, when we did our sign up piece, I'm going to give it away now. Mathew Storer, he had internet troubles and he had to leave early. So thank you so much for Matt for coming and joining the chat. It was nice to speak to you, and hopefully in the future we can do something together as a group or just whatever. That'd be nice. I'll come over and see you in Slovenia. But yeah, stay safe, mate, and stay safe to everyone else. I really, like I said, I really enjoyed the chat. It was just nice to have a chat with like-minded people. So like, share and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the video. I'll see you next week. Don't know what that'll be, but I'll have something for you. See you later. Ciao.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed doing this. It's been quite cool.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Who we lost? Matthew. Where you gone, Matthew? Oh, that's clever. How you done that?
Yeah.
Oh, you show off.
Oh, hang on a minute. Oh.
How have you done that as well? Oh, now they're the chick Kieren. You got any idea what they're doing?
I have no idea. Technology, it's not my thing.
I'll block them out.
Does mine look backwards?
No, it's right.
Why is
yeah,
it
it's
backwards
good
on mine then?
I don't know.
We've lost Matthew. Where's he gone?
Should
we do a bit of a quick introduction, I think, so we can all introduce ourselves? And the way mine's set out at the moment, I've got me, Matthew, Tom, Paul, and Kieren. So if we go along that order and just introduce yourselves, and that'd be a good start. So some of the viewers, I'm sure they'd like to know who you are.
So I'll start then, Paul, hey?
Go for it.
Sweet. All right, I'm Matthew. I'm from Australia, but I'm currently living in Slovenia. I've been traveling for the last 10 years of my life. Turned sort of more professional photography in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, basically I'm addicted to traveling, addicted to photography, and yeah, started a YouTube channel to pay my photography to least explored countries. That's sort of who I am, where I'm from, and what I'm doing.
And you do quite a lot of reviews as well, don't you? You know, gear and techniques and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, getting out of that sort of stuff though, Paul.
It's not the fun bit, is it? But it makes up the numbers, so...
yeah, exactly.
It's pretty cool.
As we all know, time's tough in the YouTube industry.
Your bit of a niche is your time blending, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I quite like that. It's something I want to have a bit of a try out myself. So
yeah. You're always welcome over to Slovenia, mate. We can
I'll come over. I will come over. I keep promising you I'm definitely going to come over. And it looks like your plans for coming over to Scotland have been scuttled this year now.
I was meant to. I got a message on my phone yesterday. What was it? You're due to fly in tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, you're not. No. Yeah, it's not too good, is it?
I'm not unless you spell with wings.
Yeah, the company actually tried to force me to fly over there. They were trying to arrange flights for me. And lucky I'd be stuck in Scotland right now. So yeah, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Yeah. Tom, take it away. Let's hear your part.
Oh, hell, pressure's on after that, mate. Well, my name's Tom. I'm known as Photoninja on YouTube, and I'm an amateur photographer. I've got a full-time job. I've got a proper job, unfortunately, at the moment. Yeah, but landscape's just a thing that I do when I go out walking. It's turned into a real passion. So yeah, and then obviously the YouTube. I'm really into video editing. So the three things just all come together at once, really, and I'm just sort of rolling with it. I'm very laid back, so.
You are actually. You're one of the most laid-back people I know
I
and
like
met,
to plan,
to be honest.
and then I'm quite happy if it doesn't go to plan. I just sort of go with it. So,
Cool.
but I am finding the quarantining and all that quite hard because
you've only just moved as well, haven't you? So,
yeah. Sorry, I'm originally from Wiltshire, but we've been living down in Cornwall for about 8 years because all my family.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
But,
so you're down near my mother now at the moment, I think. Aren't you down? My mother's down in Bradford and Avon way, so you're down that way now, aren't you?
20 minutes from Bradford and Avon.
Yeah.
I'm living in Pewsey, just from Marlborough.
That's Andy. She won't let me stay, so I can always stop at yours. Don't know why.
Yeah, so there's a spare room that's really far away down at the end of the hall.
Is it miles and miles away, is it? Got these big gates and fences to get through.
Barbed wire fence.
This guy here, this Mr. Paul here, he's almost famous now.
Nah, I don't think so.
So you're welcome, mate. I'll go with it.
It was a great introduction, Paul.
Yeah. So I'm Paul Thompson, landscape photographer. I'm not full-time. I'm working towards it, something I'm looking to do in the future. Actually still working the same as Tom at the minute, doing delivery driving, passports and that sort of thing. So whenever I get the chance, it's out with the camera to do a bit of landscape photography. The YouTube channel things, I've only been really doing it for just over a year now. So it's just sort of carrying it on and just trying to make it better as we go, really.
It's good. It changes your life, doesn't it, this YouTube thing?
Yeah, I love it. It's really good. It gives you a good excuse to get out, to be honest. That's what I find.
Definitely, yeah. It's not that you need an excuse, but it's nice to have that reason. I like to have a reason to go out rather than just going. So yeah.
I don't do planning. I don't do any of that planning.
Anyone that knows me, I do zero. You get what you're given when I'm out, and that's it.
Yeah, I like to go out and see what happens. Really, that's the way I like to. I mean, I'll go to a location with a location in mind, but I've got no specific thing in mind when I go.
Yeah. Cool. Right, Mr. Kieren.
Hello,
Mr. Young and Fragile there.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name's Kieren. I spent a couple of years as an outdoor instructor, and with that I sort of spent loads of time in the outdoors thinking, wow, this is beautiful. I wish I could capture what I'm seeing right now. So then I started taking pictures of everything, and then that slowly snowballed, watching people like Thomas Eaton and stuff.
Who? What?
I thought, I could probably do a YouTube channel.
Who's Thomas Eaton?
Pardon?
Who's Thomas Eaton?
Some guy who's doing loads of macro photography at the moment, I think.
As landscape vloggers or floggers or whatever we are, we can't go out. We're indoors, and it's quite a challenge taking photographs of wallpaper and the carpet. It's not that easy. So yeah, I'll introduce myself for all those guys on your channel. My name's Paul Compton. I've been a photographer forever, to be honest. I remember having my first camera in London when I was about 12. I wish to God I still had those pictures. Then I got the brainstorm of getting married and having kids, so that all stopped. After that, I suppose I've been into photography seriously for about 12 years, been in camera clubs and things like that. And then I took it more seriously, especially on the landscape, since I've been getting into vlogging. And I've been doing it now probably about 2 years. So landscape's pretty much my passion. For the same reason these guys, I like being in the outdoors. I like being out and like getting things done. So yeah, I just enjoy the fresh air. After being in a factory all day, every day, the fresh air and the landscape's pretty cool. So that's pretty much my story. Don't think any of us class ourselves as professional landscape photographers, but I think we all do pretty well. And yeah, no, it is good fun. So that's the introductions out of the way. Let's go for something a little bit serious. Let's try a few questions. I've got a couple of questions
I'm getting
I
sweaty
know
now.
Matthew's got about a dozen questions.
Yeah, I'm fully prepared.
He's raring to go. So let's go with you, Matthew. Give us a question, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, all right. So it's what, 9:30 over there right now, isn't it?
It's what?
Is it
9:30?
9:30?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right. I hope you slept well. I've got some serious questions. What's the hardest thing about vlogging? Tom, take it away.
For me, because I'm still have a normal job, I got a young family, our little ones too. So it's definitely the time for me, and not being able to sometimes give it 100%, or sometimes I have videos or footage that I know I could do better, and it's just purely based down to not having enough time, and it really bugs me because I am a bit of a perfectionist. So I'm always torn between like putting a video up and it not being my best. That's what I struggle with vlogging.
Yeah, but do you only put out stuff that you feel good and confident with?
Yeah, I know. There's more videos that I've binned, I would say, that you've never seen.
Yeah.
But I am being a bit more relaxed this year and showing a bit more about the realities of it, because, well, that is the reality.
I noticed. Yeah. See, your style's changed. I remember when I first started watching you many moons ago, and you were abroad. I think you were in France at the time. You were taking some old derelicts, like bunkers or something, on the beach.
Yeah,
watching that back when you were sort of young, free, and running. Well, you weren't free. You still had your missus, weren't you? But you were sort of running around. Whereas now you sort of got a bit more reserve, a bit more of a. You're a dad now. You seem to have changed, got a bit dadly.
Well, I've got to be responsible now, haven't I?
So yeah, no, time's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, time was the biggest thing for me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. YouTube's a hard place.
What about you? Sorry, Matthew, what was that?
I said YouTube's a hard place.
Yeah, it's very time consuming.
Very time consuming, and there's a lot of pressure as well, isn't there? Like, you know, that I know we put it on ourselves, but yeah, there's always someone willing to climb over you, so you got to keep going with it.
Yeah, it's the
yeah,
next
but
step,
I always portray it in, you know, everyone owns a TV. If you don't like something you're watching, there's always another station that you can watch. And that's what I never understand about YouTube. You know, we put, I'm not sure about you guys, but probably a basic video takes 15 to 20 hours from start to finish. And that's never, you know, me hiking a mountain. This sometimes takes, you know, 25 hours, and this can be crushed within 20 minutes of making a video because someone comments something negative. And yeah, of course, we portray ourselves on YouTube to be scrutinized and obviously positives as well. But there's always other YouTubers out there. You know, there's 5 of us here that can go and watch one of our stuff and you enjoy it. So
yeah,
it's a ruthless world.
Yeah,
it's. I think it's the thing. It's trying to find out what it is. You're always trying to think, what do people want to watch? What can I produce that people are going to watch? And I think it's difficult that way. I think, in general, most of it for me, I think it's just people like locations. They like going out and finding locations because there's, you know, like you said, there's 1,000,001 people that do tech talk and how to do this and how to do that. And we do it naturally anyway, which is what our subscribers enjoy. You know, we give them a little bit of feedback and we're teaching them as we go. But mainly it's about going out, isn't it? It's taking people out. I mean, most of my subscribers they're thankful for the fact that we take them out and we take them to locations and places.
Yeah.
And I haven't done nowhere near as many workshops as Matt, but the few I have done, I've noticed that a lot of people just want to be shown around, or they just want to be taken to these spots.
Yeah, totally.
I would say 50% of the workshops I've done have all been, they know how to take a picture, they know how to use their camera, they know all about composition and that, but they just want someone to take them there.
Yeah,
and,
a
lot of my workshops have been like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a big believer, Tom, that someone's paying for your time, not your knowledge as well.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think I always find strange with it is they kind of know you before you've
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have never met them, but they talk to me like they know me, and I find that a little bit weird as well. But
it is a very weird feeling. I remember the first time you come up and they come up straight up to your car and they're like really confident, like, "Hiya, blah blah," and like, "Whoa." you know, I don't even know, you don't even know what they look like, but they can spot you across a car park, you know.
It's a confidence thing as well. Like,
Yeah.
especially for me starting out, is they obviously know who we all are. They've watched our stuff, and they've still booked us.
Yeah, no,
So,
I must admit, I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them. A few, like I say, I've done a few as well, and yeah, it's quite good fun. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I really do enjoy it. Yeah.
So has everyone here all run workshops? Have you all done that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't yet. Something we're working towards.
Yeah,
I can imagine it's quite intimidating, making sure that you get everyone's expectations, you know, and fulfill everything that they expect from you and what they're paying for at the end of the day.
I've done a couple of one-to-ones, and then you can get to sort of speak to the person, find out what it is they want, you know, what guidance they want, what it is they actually want from the one-to-one. And I've also done the group one-to-one, the group workshop I did last year with Jason. And that was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. And my lesson from that is it's an awful lot of work. When you're putting on accommodation, food, locations, traveling, you know, there's so many things that can go wrong, you know, even down to the weather. You have to have an A and a B plan, or even a C plan. You know, A is great if it works. The weather could be bad, so you hit to B. B may be closed, so what do you do then? You know, so there's so many things, and time just seems to disappear. But thoroughly enjoyed that day, that weekend. But it was a massive learning curve. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to proceed, you know, and do stuff like me and you had one sorted out for the Isle of Skye, didn't we? So that would have been good fun for you. But you know, like the way things are at the moment, we've had to change those plans. But yeah, definitely come along to us on the next one once I get it worked out and get some people on it. But it's quite a challenge. It's not as easy as you think.
I agree. Like if you were to spin this around, because I've thought the same thing. You know, I'm living in Slovenia. It's quite a saturated place for workshops in autumn. But I'm a big believer in trying to justify. You know, you are Paul Compton. There's something about you that people want to book, and you know, how can you make this tour unique that no one else can run this?
Yeah.
This is my avenue forward. You know, how can I offer to my clients, not just me, something very unique when they come to Slovenia, let's say.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding that little niche inside. You know, we all run YouTube channels. We all run like niche YouTube channels. So it's just hard work finding out your niche and, you know, what your clients want.
It is, yeah. I mean, the experience I've had with that is the fact that when people have come on any one-to-ones or even the group one, they were interested in my style because I'm not going to use the word laid back because Tom's the laid back one, but I'm so just down to earth, so common, so rough and ready about it, you know, and then like, yeah, come on, just get on with it, get your camera, let's go and take it. And that's quite relaxing for a lot of people. I don't make it sound, it's not hard. I mean, I've had arguments with people before that landscape photography really isn't hard. Getting the right light and maybe, you know, tidying up your composition, that's the difficult bit. But, you know, getting out there with a camera and just taking pictures, you know. So yeah, I think the people that have come on mine is the fact that they feel relaxed because I'm quite an open, you know, chatty person.
Open book,
really, you know.
Yeah. So since everyone's from the UK, I've got a really interesting question I've wanted to ask for quite a long time. What is it about the UK that has so many photographers in this realm of YouTube? And also, does anyone have the interest to travel outside of the UK? To me, I'm not trying to like brag here or anything like this, but I've been to over 100 countries. And
I'll travel anywhere.
I find for me, once you travel, you expand your knowledge about photography. You're in elements that you can't control. So I want to hear from everyone, what is it about the UK that you stay in? I understand we all have 2 or 4 weeks holiday, but does anyone have any plans to escape?
I'll tell you what, I'll quickly run for a quick one and let the guys have a chat. I was obviously going to the Vero Islands, and my biggest problem has been money. Now, I've spent an obscene amount of money on, you know, lots and lots of kit that I don't really use it all. I was in a lucky situation. I sold my house, so I had this big chunk of money that I felt like spending rather than saving until I'm old and can't enjoy it. So I bought kit and stuff like that. And that's because I can actually have something in my hands to actually spend a stupid amount of money, hold something in my hand. This is mine. I can see it. I can look at it. I can lick it up and down. You know, that's mine. But when you go on
Coronavirus,
holiday,
Paul, don't do that.
when you go on holiday, it's just a memory. And I've always been like, oh, spending £4,000 or £5,000 on a holiday is just like, it's been done, it's once, it's done, it's gone. And I struggle with that. You know, I mean, the Faroe Islands for me, that was a lot of money going to be spent, but that was a trip of a lifetime for me. Somewhere I've always dreamt to go in, apart from Iceland.
It's mainly expense.
Yeah,
Just
of course.
incredibly expensive to take your camera gear and go to these beautiful locations. So yeah, I struggle with that pretty much.
Yeah.
But like Paul said, with the UK, it is
you?
incredibly diverse.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, the northern part of Scotland to the, you know, Cornwall, Devon area. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I've spent loads of time in Scotland, and it's quite easily like a moth to the flame to go to the famous locations and capture them shots. But I don't know, you probably won't see my channel, it's very small. But what I tend to do is I go to them locations, I get them shots, but then I spend at least 3 or 4 months working there. So within that 3 or 4 months, I really get to explore, find little tributaries, little rivers, little waterfalls that, I don't know, the locals know about, but the wide world doesn't.
He's a bit tapped. He goes walking off into the middle of nowhere.
It's a good idea.
It's good stuff, though.
He's been practicing for solitude.
Yeah. I love just being in the middle of nowhere. That, you know, might have been 50 years since somebody walked there.
Yeah. I love the UK. Absolutely love it. Last year was probably the first time I've actually gone on a photography trip, a specific photography trip, and that's when I went to Canada.
Amazing.
To spend a bit of time with Adam.
For the heroes.
Yeah, I went with Adam Gibbs and went to Vancouver Island.
Top stuff.
And I wanted to see it was old growth forest and places like that really interested me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. Just a completely different experience. And it's somewhere that, I would really love to go back to. There's lots of that sort of place I would really love to go back to. As much as I like the UK, I love Scotland. Absolutely love it to bits. But definitely see what you're getting at about seeing different things and having more diversity. But for me, it's cost and it's time, because I've got 2 young kids as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I can only really go away for a week at a time. And to be honest, when I went for a week to Canada, it wasn't enough. I mean, you spend 2 days to get there and get back, so you're already down to 5 days.
Are those trees as big as they look?
Oh, they're huge, massive.
So, Paul, inside of your photography, are you more interested in the intricate detail of landscape photography, or, you know, how would you generalize your field of landscape photography?
Both.
Okay.
I like the grand vistas.
Yeah.
But the more that I've been getting into it, I've been focusing more on the smaller details. Yeah. When I started, I still am. I'm right into waterfalls and water, anything with water in, I love. And before I started hanging around with Adam and people like that, I wasn't remotely interested in anything like woodland photography, because it felt more intimate and it felt more difficult, and I couldn't get my head around it at all.
Woodland's definitely a hard thing. You've had a go, Tom, haven't you? And it is.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I love it though. Don't get me wrong. Now that I've got into it, I absolutely love it. But for me, I like the flow of water and the feel of water. So that was what drew me to things, really. Yeah. But now that I've spending that bit of time in Canada, I actually, it sounds ridiculous because people say the other way around, that it's easier to photograph our woodlands here.
Is it?
Because apparently, but I found it the other way, and I don't know whether
I would have thought it's got to be easy because they seem to have better light and more.
Well, it's not. It wasn't so much the light; it's just that in our woodlands over here, they seem a lot more cluttered and messy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when you go to like old growth forest in Canada, everything's big So it's all more spaced out, and the
Yeah.
understory's more green. Yeah, there's fallen trees and there's branches, but things tend to be covered in moss.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't look as messy. It doesn't look as cluttered.
Yeah, see, I'm like you. I like to do a bit of woodland photography, but I've not found any of them sort of. I always go back to Simon Baxter when we talk about woodland, because he seems to be the woodland king, you know. And if you find the right woods, I think the pictures are almost made for you. You're just waiting to stumble across them. You
Yeah,
know, my local woodland, you can walk around that for hours and not see anything that jumps out at you. You know, it's just a big clutter. So I think you need to be lucky. Like you say, if the woodlands over there are sort of less cluttered and just bigger trees and more moss, and it's almost crying out for it, isn't it?
yeah. I found it easier to find compositions, I must admit.
Yeah.
But
Do you
then
find in the UK the woodlands are there's so many footpaths, there's so many people walking through them, they're so small,
Yeah.
and like if you head up to the Highlands of Scotland, where you know that piece of woodland again, like I said before, it might have been 50 years since somebody walked across them set of trees.
Yeah.
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 That the moss, the ground's covered in moss, the rocks haven't been touched. You know what I mean? Everything's just a lot wilder. Is that the same over in Vancouver?
Yeah, well, it's. I think it comes down to, it's like if I go to woodland over here, I'll try. I've tried going to my local woodland, but yeah, it doesn't work in the same way. So what I tend to look for is like ancient woodland. I find ancient woodland over here is easier to photograph again, because it's older. You've got more moss. It's less cluttered, and there's more gnarly, characteristic trees, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're the ones, aren't they?
Yeah, the younger forests I find are generally the more cluttered ones over here anyway.
Yeah.
So I always try and go for that sort of ancient woodland if I can.
What camera system and why?
Oh,
Go for it, Matthew, because you're a Fuji man.
Fuji, because it's light, compact, and I travel all the time, so light quality 50-50 is important to me.
Yeah. Tom?
mine's down to cost really at the moment, but I use a crop sensor Nikon, a little D7200, and it is brilliant
Nikon.
camera.
Lovely camera.
It's not Canon, I know, but yeah, it does everything that you could want to do.
Have you got a plan? You know, have you got a long-term plan to change?
Yeah, I would say within the next 3 months, I will probably have something.
Any
different.
secrets?
Hey?
Any secrets? What we're planning on?
He's waiting for sponsorship.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, that'd be ideal. Yeah, I wouldn't have to get my wallet out then. Yeah, no, it'll be full frame, but I like the Lumix, but it's a beast. So heavy.
That's the thing, in it heavy. That's why I'm using the Fuji stuff now, and I'm actually putting my Canon stuff up for sale, just purely because the Canon stuff is heavy. Even though I bought heavier lenses now for the Fuji, it's still lighter in comparison. I just enjoy using the Fuji. I just think it's fun to use.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't feel like a big boy's camera to me, but at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter anymore. You know, so what's your weapon of choice?
Sony.
Sony.
Yeah, I'm shooting Sony A7R2 at the minute.
Nice.
And,
lots of pixels.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I have the same camera as Tom as well. That's what I started off on, is the 7200. But I was in two minds at the time. I thought, right, well, I've got crop sensor lenses. If I'm going full frame, I'm going to have to change the whole system anyway.
Yeah.
So it was at that point I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to go Sony.
Yeah.
And then immediately regretted it and found out how much the bloody lenses were after it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did.
Then,
I was on Sony and I went over to Canon.
But I don't regret it now. I don't regret it now at all.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I've invested in a couple of decent lenses, I'm chuffed to bits with it. It's a fantastic camera.
Yeah, cool. Kieren, quickly, we've got just under 2 minutes before this will crash.
Yeah, so my first camera was a Nikon, and then I kind of stayed with Nikon, and I ended up upgrading to the Nikon D810. And I don't have the Nikon lenses or anything like that. I just went for Tamron, but they do really well.
Yeah,
They're just
they look good. They
super
look
heavy.
all right to me. The images qualities look all right to me. So
Yeah.
But the Nikon D810 is an absolute beast when it comes to landscape photography.
You'll all get over it, and eventually you'll all end up on Fuji, won't they, Matt? So you know,
No comment. No comment.
we're taking over the world.
You a West Coast photographer or East Coast?
Oh.
Sunrise or sunset?
North Scotland, West Coast, and I prefer sunrise because it's a new day, it's nice and fresh, and if I cock it up, I can get the sunset at the end of the day.
You a West Coast photographer or East Coast?
Oh.
Sunrise or sunset?
Scotland, West Coast, and I prefer sunrise because it's a new day, it's nice and fresh, and if I cock it up, I can get the sunset at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I rate that.
I'm the same. I'm a sunrise, but mainly just because at weekends is my time, and I can get back. Especially now the clocks have gone forward. I can get back, and we can start our weekend day or whatever, and we can still do the family stuff. So, yeah, I just find sunrise is a bit slower, a bit more or less frantic.
Yeah.
Which is weird because when living in Bude, obviously it's a sunset spot, and I didn't tend to film the sunset so much just because I didn't have that pressure of getting it right. You know what I mean? If it didn't
I feel like with sunrise photography, especially when you're filming it and vlogging it, the people that watch your channel you almost get like a, well done, you made it out for sunrise. It's almost like a pat on the back straight away as soon as you're like, it's early in the morning, it's dark, and I'm up. Look at this face. I'm so tired.
You dragged your ass out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's no, you won't find Instagrammers at sunrise. They'll be at sunset.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's true. That's why none of us wear makeup as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
We look at the state of us all now. None of us look like what we do when we're on our channel.
You don't do duck lips either.
Whatever gets those views, hey Paul.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Yeah, I like sunrise. I like sunrise, and I like again West Coast of Scotland, I would say. But over this way, if it's Northumberland, I'll go across to the northeast coast because it's just from where I am in Cumbria. The Cumbrian coast's just not that great, if I'm honest. But the northeast coast over near Bamborough and places like that's absolutely stunning. Which is where I'm from originally, so it's just it's lovely over there. So I know it pretty well. So for even sunrises over there, it's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, because I must admit I've been over that side a few times, and it's got some pretty cool coast and the castles and that, and it's not a bad bit of the country, to be honest, over there.
Yeah, it's
and like I say, the sunrises, you're in the right place, aren't you?
Yeah, it's superb over there for sunrise. Just our Cumbrian coast, it's too messy. It's just too messy. It's just not good at all.
You've got Blackpool.
Exactly.
Blackpool, folks, it really isn't.
Right. What first got you into YouTube?
Bang.
Why YouTube?
Go on, Matthew.
Yeah, so pretty much the same story. Growing up in Australia, we have this obviously ultimate freedom to camp, to do whatever we want, basically whenever we want. And especially I grew up in the mountains, but not anything like you guys have probably seen before. So I got into photography by the art storytelling. So that's probably why I've got into the travel and all this sort of stuff. And like photography, I wanted to portray something that I was witnessing through photography. And then I thought it wasn't enough. So I wanted to portray basically to my family, to my mum, my dad, grandmother, my brother, that what I was doing on my travels, rather than just, having a Skype call talking about it. They're always, oh, cool. Yeah, cool. And they've got something visually to watch where I was. And for me, it was definitely like same as photography, that storytelling, but to basically capture of how you felt, the emotion that you're going through when you're witnessing something that, you know, no one else has or done before at that particular time. So
Yeah.
for me, it was basically just organic that way. I mean, I was a little bit different because I wanted to tell my family back home what I was doing, where I was. And I was safe and healthy, basically.
Yeah.
Mine's a lot stripped back than that, really. My photography and my YouTube's the same thing. Same. It's the same time span, really. And I just wanted somewhere where I could feel like a part of something, and hope that people would help me grow. And the YouTube was just buzzing at the time, and I loved doing the video editing. So it just all come together at the same time, and I've just rolled with it. Like I said earlier, it's just both things have grown together. Obviously, my photography the passion's always been there, but not the capacity it is now. So that's why I started YouTube. It was just
it's pretty cool watching how people grow, I must admit. You know?
It was like a support network for me. It was all new.
Yeah.
And what we've all grown together has definitely nursed me, my photography. Yeah.
Just going to introduce the wife. I'm sure you've all spoke to her before or seen her on channel. Mrs. C. Denise.
How you doing?
We've got Kieren, the young lad that's going to help us with the
I
workshop.
can see all the names at the bottom.
Matthew, you know Matthew, you've seen me watching him. Paul's
She's the main part of your channel, isn't she, Paul?
Hey?
Tom.
Everybody looks.
So she's the main part of his channel.
He is, yeah, this is the key. If you want to grow, guys, get a lady in your channel.
Well, how did you get into it? Like, were you educated at university, college, or?
No, all self-taught, mate. All self-taught. So I bought my first birthday, about 12 years of age. I got the old 12 megapixel crappy camera, and yeah, mine's a little bit different than you guys, because you guys revisit the locations, not all the time, but quite often. That's why I wanted to know about the UK situation, because for me, most of my photography comes through the storytelling way. So, you know, I haven't always got I might camp somewhere in the middle of Kyrgyzstan for one night and this is all I can capture. So I have to light the tent up, I have to light the Milky Way up, and almost work with what I've got, sort of thing. So.
Right, Tom, have you got a question for anybody?
If you could name one person that you aspire to, who would that be? It doesn't have to be photography, just your whole ethics to what you imply into photography. So it could be a photographer, it could be anyone. Who do you aspire to?
So I'm inspired by generally everybody. I can't really pinpoint a particular person.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, nothing floats my boat in one direction. I'm such a mix, my head's in so many different places. So I'm going to have to sort of bow out on that and
You'd
say,
never know that.
I can't pick a person.
You'd never be able to pick that up.
Say again?
You'd never know that your head was in all these different places.
Really? Yeah, you do say the nicest of things.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, good question. Mine's going to be a bit hard to answer because one of them's Australian, which you'll never know. He plays AFL footy, so a real man's sport, not this Premier League. Yeah, but also another one right now is a YouTuber, but he doesn't do anything to do with photography or anything like this. He's just a typical, let's call it typical vlogger. He's called Brody Moss. It's called Youngbloods. And so the end of last year, when I was going through the YouTube grind, as I was talking about before this started recording, I was sort of losing who I personally was. And I think inside of the YouTube photography realm, there's my sort of niche is not a lot of Australians that do this type of stuff, and especially in Europe. So I lost this way, and this guy, Brody Moss, become sort of a well-known blogger in Australia because he was just himself. And that's sort of what I'm trying to, watch, inspire. He's very similar to me as far as, I'm not a very well-educated speaker. I haven't got the biggest vocabulary, and I really put pressure on myself in the YouTube because I thought this is what people wanted. And, I was embarrassed to say a few things, and you know, we've all been there where you get halfway through a sentence and you're blank and you're like, what was that word? And you have no idea what you wanted to say.
What? All the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Facebook. I normally pile it on Facebook and then get someone like Tom saying, "What are you doing, man?"
It's interesting though. It's interesting to hear you talk all different things about that, because I was a forces kid. So again, we moved around everywhere. So I never got to stay anywhere long enough to make friends, you know, make permanent friends, because we must have moved 6 or 7 times when I was a school kid. So I was never at a school long enough.
And I was the same. My dad was a prison officer, so we would move from, you know, county to county around London. I don't think I was ever in one house for more than a year, ever. You know, it was quite a strange feeling.
Yeah, this is it.
And I find it quite funny as well, because, you know, landscape photography, as Kieren was saying before, he's happiest, Kieren, when he's in the mountains surrounded by no one or anything.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you get into YouTube, the best way to do things is collaborate. And as want to, you know, almost going against the will.
Well, you know, a lot of people like to go out on their own. It's very rare. I mean, if you watch the channel, it's very rare I'm ever on my own. I enjoy those couple of times I have been, but I've either got the wife with me or I'm out with doing group meetups and stuff. I've always got people around, because as much as I like the space, I'm on my own all day at work every day. So when it comes to being out and enjoying my photography, I like doing it around other people and the banter. You know, I'm a much more cheery person when I'm winding someone up.
Well, I actually find it. I find it I find it easier. Somebody was asking me this question the other day. Do you not like the solitude? And again, I work on my own all day. So when you come to going out on vlogs, I actually find it easier to bounce off somebody.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
To get a video across more. Yeah. I find it easier to bounce off somebody, and I feel more natural when I'm bouncing off somebody else.
Yeah,
so.
I agree with that.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're always on your own, aren't you?
Yeah, I like going out with a plan that normally doesn't work, and I rough on.
See, that'll teach you for planning.
Yeah, well, there you go. You see, don't bother.
Yeah, and I just roll with it. But then if I'm on my own, then I can do it exactly how I want. I don't feel pressured, and I'm holding someone up, or I haven't. But then I haven't really experienced, other than when I did stuff with Chris, that I haven't vlogged with anyone. It's not something I can really comment on. But I normally go out on my own. But that's just the situation I'm in.
Yeah,
not necessarily my choice. It's just
it's grabbing the moment as well for you, maybe as well, isn't it? You know, when the only time you get the chance to get away from Littlin and that,
that's it. Yeah, I'm just making the best out of what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
I think what you do, Paul, I think it's really good how you've built a page, and you've got a community. You've built a full-on community. And I don't know about everyone else. Like, have you guys built communities to have that group of people?
Well, we're in the process. We're in the process. Tom and I have got a group set up YouTube for YouTubers on Facebook, and that's doing a similar sort of thing. And
that's a pretty amazing group, to be honest.
It's doing really well, and the fact that it was the idea of it is just to bring all of us together, so that we've got somewhere we can all ask each other questions. We can all promote our own work, each other's work, however.
Yeah, and it's good, because there's a lot of channels, there's a lot of groups on Facebook that don't like you publicising your videos and things like that.
Yeah, that was the idea.
It can get saturated in that. You know, I mean, I've got the channel when I started our Landscape Photography Adventures group off. It was to try and just get people together that were interested in going out and meeting up and things. You know, and if you want to go out, put it on there, and people can come and join you. That was the idea. Because as we've all just said, you know, people want to get out, and it's about meeting up with people. And I allow videos and stuff to go on as long as people are. I've had to sort of have a bit of conversation with someone the other day that all he was doing is putting his video on. I'm like, hang on a minute, if you're not going to interact with other people's, then it's not the chat that, you know, the group's not there just to dump a video on. I.e., yours is go and put the video on. That's what it's all about. And it's having that fine balance. So the channel you started is a really good idea. I think it's proper growing as well. But
yeah, well, the idea of it that was the idea of it, because people do get hacked off with you just dropping links, and you know why? I mean,
I know why. I've hacked off plenty of people.
But the good thing is about that group is you can drop a link, but people still interact, and there's still that sort of connection because they do comment on it, and they, so it's still working as a community.
Yeah.
What is that, Paul? Do you want to shout it out?
It's YouTube photography. It's called. YouTube photography, and it's on Facebook. I'll put a link.
Yeah.
I'll drop a link to you. You can
We'll
put
add
it
all
in
the
the
links
descriptions.
below and that, so.
And we're growing. It's up to nearly 500 members, and it's got like a broad base of people throughout the whole thing. It's not just landscape photography; it's photography YouTubers in general. So it's got
It's potentially for YouTubers, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of a mix. So the idea is that it's YouTubers, but it's also the public, so that the public can find new channels to watch, as well as us YouTubers
I must
having
admit,
somewhere to.
since you've had that channel started and when it started growing, over the first few weeks of it starting, there was vloggers that I've seen crop up on it I've never heard of and never probably would have ever heard of.
Yeah.
So it is a good way of finding some new, fresh people to have a bit of a jaunt with and having a look at their channel. So I must admit, it is good. I'll say I've seen several people on there. I've never even seen their faces before, so it is good.
Yeah. That was the intention. It's it's somewhere we can all sort of grow and learn from each other on.
Anyway, guys, look, I'll end this chat there because it's been going for over an hour now, and I'm sure you've got loads of things you want to be getting on and doing, like the gardening and hoovering and wallpapering and all the things like that.
Chasing kids around the house.
Yeah, and I've got a water tank to get out of the loft to completely destroy the kitchen with. So yeah, but yeah, no, this has been really good. I hope the general public have been sort of enjoying watching this bit of a banter, and it's nice to see a little bit different side of each other as well, which is quite cool because we're not under pretense of being in front of the camera. I know we don't act, but you do kind of put on a bit of an act, even though it's not a real act, if you know what I mean. You sort of, you're talking to the public. So yeah, it's been a bit more relaxed like this.
Yeah,
it's been good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm definitely up for doing some more. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
especially while we can't get outside.
I haven't upset with you, which is not what I planned, but never mind.
Well, we've got some more planned. I think we're going to do some more of this style of thing because we're going to be limited to do this sort of thing at the minute.
Yeah, no, it's a really good idea. I'm glad it works. So it's been a bit of a test as well, and it's so all good.
Works really well.
What you need to do is set up a good one. Get bloody Adam, or not Adam. Don't worry about Adam. Get Gavin on. I really want to yarn with that guy, man. He's got to be my favourite YouTuber at the moment. He's so funny. I've got questions about Amanda as well. So,
stalker.
Is she real, or is she like a wind-up toy that he sort of winds up and gets her going in the morning? But no, yeah, it's been good. So yeah, we'll do it again, definitely.
Yeah,
I would say so.
Right, take care, stay safe, and don't
take
get
care, guys.
around.
Cheers.
See you later.
Yeah,
see you later, Kieren.
Bye.
Cheers, Kieren.
Thank you all.